Hey, welcome back, Big Orange fans. Another episode of Balls for Life podcast. Been an eventful weekend, Bob, and not necessarily all for the good.
Sure.
We had a rivalry game with Kentucky basketball yesterday that, boy, it'll leave a sour taste in your mouth. We'll get into that a little later. But the portal closed, the entry to the portal closed Friday night. And, most of the heavy lifting's already been done. So we're going to go over, we had a bevy of commitments on Saturday that we're going to touch on, and we'll go over where we're at and where we still need to go because even though the entry is closed,
Right.
as most of you know, they are still able to sign afterwards, and we're still going to have a few more players going in. The Miami Indiana game, those
Right.
guys have 5 days afterwards to enter the portal,
Mm-hmm.
as well as people that went in Friday night at midnight. Their schools have 48 hours, business hours, to put their name in a portal. So with the holiday and the weekend, potentially we may see new names all the way up to Wednesday.
Right. Right.
Um, one side note: if you see me grimacing in pain or slowly sinking down into my seat and off to the side, it is because I coughed this morning, and apparently at my age you can no longer do that.
Yeah.
Uh, or you will throw your back out. And so if I look like I have a painful look on my face, I'm either thinking about the Kentucky game yesterday, or I'm in severe agony.
Right.
So hopefully, Bob, this doesn't turn into a solo episode for you. But with that said,
Yeah.
um,
Let's,
let's get into the portal, Bob,
Right.
and had some commitments. Let's talk about them to start
All right.
with.
Let's talk about the commitments, Tim. First guy up is Donovan Haslam. Uh, commit committed to us, West Virginia, interior offensive lineman. He decent ball player. I don't personally. I don't think he's a guy that will ever start, but he might. But to me, he's a depth piece, kind of in the Shamuroff mold, in my opinion. He's about 330, but he did start quite a few positions for West Virginia.
He did. He played 3 different spots last year for West Virginia. He's a classic guy who can swing from position, which is you know invaluable, really. During the course of the season, people getting banged up, either multiple games or just inside it, a single game. To have some flexibility there, I really like the Donovan Haslam pickup myself.
Yeah, not a bad player. He's not a bad player. You wanted the staff obviously wanted a guard who could swing, play different positions, and they got one. And he's not a. There's a lot of what some people call slaw left in the portal. I don't feel like he was at that level. He was decent. Let's go ahead before we go to the next player. Let's stop. Christy had a question here. What do you feel about our quarterback situation? We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit later on in the video, but we do have a visitor in. So from another Power 4 conference, but we'll talk about that a little bit here later.
Right, a Colorado quarterback.
Yeah, Colorado.
Obviously, the quarterback position is the one that most people really want to know because, it's huge. But will we be going after a guy that can start, or is this going to be a battle between GMAC and Faison next year?
Right.
That's something we'll be discussing.
Yeah, and I would not be shocked if we don't have another guy come in besides this guy. The other commit we got, Tim, Tevis Metcalf, the brother of TJ Metcalf that committed to us here about a few days ago. TJ, the better player, but Tevis is young. I think he was, I can't remember, maybe a redshirt freshman, maybe. And so he's could possibly still be something. I don't see him really factoring into this year's team very much, unless he can do it playing cornerback position.
Which we need help at the corner. To me, this is classic
Package deal.
package deal.
Yeah.
That said, he's a young guy, got some athleticism about him. It'll be up to coaches see if they can bring the most out of him. Obviously, with 105 scholarships now, I have no problem with this right here.
Right. Right. Uh, the another commit we got was Javon Gordon, running back from Tulane. Um, Not the level of guy that I had hoped for that spot. I was hoping we'd have a guy who could challenge Bishop for the starting job. This guy, to me, feels like at best second team, most likely. To me, I personally kind of feel like he might be 13, but I haven't watched his film though.
No,
I'm just going based off of, he's 4 yards per carry, and he wasn't just like the main guy at Tulane.
well, no, he wasn't. The main guy, McClear at Tulane, that kid's a ball player. I will say that he was what I expected to get out of the portal. I didn't think we was ever going to bring in someone to truly compete with Bishop. Um, I felt that we was going to bring in a body that could pass block and get you some carries, maybe compete with Morse or Baker. Uh, Unless we, the first day or two, or let's say 4 or 5 days, if we was going to get a big time guy like say Hollywood Smothers or whoever may have been out there this year, that was the time frame. When we were out pretty quickly on those guys, to me, it was always at that point you're going to bring in a guy from a low level school, and the guy did have 500 and some yards as a freshman. That's not a bum.
Yeah.
For a freshman, that's very good. Way better than I expected out of a freshman. That said, he did average 4 yards carry, which is mediocre.
Yeah.
But once again, the best thing about freshmen, Bob,
They become sophomores.
they become sophomores. Absolutely.
Next commit we got, Tim, was Trent Thomas, tight end from South Alabama. This guy got a lot of snaps, but not a lot of catches, which, clearly indicates this guy was a blocker.
Oh, yeah. And with the late departure of Dorslayer,
I hate losing that one.
yeah, he was a quality young tight end that played a lot for us last year. This guy had four catches out of 400, I believe it was, some snaps.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with that number of snaps, though, they did value his blocking abilities. 6'5", 250-ish pounds, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm pleased with this guy. He's a because with the setup of our room with Ethan Davis and Deshaun Brain being your primary receiving back tight ends, what you really needed was somebody you could stick in on a short yardage situation, a true block, and inline tight end. Probably
and I
about
believe,
as good as what we could have got.
And I believe Ethan Davis or Brown One will have a big time year this year.
If Ethan Davis stays healthy and takes any kind of step from the end of the year, when he got back in,
he
looked like a weapon.
Yeah, he did. And I feel like Brame is just Ethan Davis, but further along at that point in their careers. So one or the other, I really feel like it's going to have a big year, and maybe both. The other guy we got to commit from was DJ Burks, safety from Appalachian State. He's another guy who I feel like is a depth piece. I don't foresee him being a starter though, at any point, probably unless there's injuries. But I think he is capable of playing.
Yeah, and you know what? Congrats to the Burks family. Local product out of Merville.
Yeah.
Grew up I guess he grew up in the shadow of Neyland Stadium, or at least played in the shadow of Neyland Stadium.
Right.
So congrats. Hopefully he can make some memories down there the last of my lifetime. And I'm fine with getting him. I think we've done most of our quote starters that we've picked them up so far at the safety spot and the nickel spot.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But this guy is, like I said, he's another body back there. We need him. So I'm fine with this pickup too.
Yeah, and you know, like you said, Tim, he's from Maryville. It'd be nice to have some guys on the team who, you know, bleed orange. You know, because in the days of the portal, you have so many kids who you feel like have very little love for the school. You know what I mean?
Well,
much more love
but
about.
they
money.
bleed green,
Yeah,
and I'm not saying I wouldn't either in their position.
right.
If if offers are comparable, I'm going to stay with where my heart is. But uh, I think it's Dwight Schrute in the office. The one time said he thought he was being paid for loyalty, and whoever values loyalty more financially was where he was going to go.
Right.
Uh,
That's kind of where, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I think some of these kids, if they was to, you know, leave their parents, if somebody else said, hey, you know, for $10 more, well, you got to leave your parents, come live with us. They'd be like, $10 more? Heck yeah, let's go. You know what I mean? That's kind of loyalty I feel like these kids have nowadays. But I won't get on that soapbox there. But all right, let's look at the kids that are on campus, who's not committed. As of this video, is Cody Haddad, safety from Ohio State. He's a kid I wouldn't mind getting. I think he was a freshman this year. Not a bad ball player. I think he's a guy who don't see him doing nothing this year, but could be a guy who does something in a year or two.
well, yeah, and we have to remember that I believe Jim Knowles was there when they recruited him,
Good point.
and our cornerback coach Hunter was there last year and saw him practice and whatnot.
And,
so
and
they,
to
they
me,
have
that's
eyes
huge.
on him
That's huge. When you got two guys who have seen him
and decided, hey, this
we-
is a kid I wouldn't care to bring with us. I see potential.
right. And you know, he did have a decent visit list of Iowa, Nebraska, and Texas A&M, which is a decent indicator of, you know, what kind of prospect they are. Also come in was Isaiah Harge, wide receiver from Colorado. I don't really understand that one. Kid, I think one catch the year before last, and I think 4 this year. He was way down the list at Colorado, unless there was some kind of injury situation that I'm not aware of. Something going on there. I don't really understand that one. But that he was here on a visit.
Well, I think we want a body.
Yeah.
I think they love the talent in that room already on campus, but we've only got 7 scholarship wide receivers.
We are low on numbers. Yeah.
Low on numbers, high on talent.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, the portal at this point, Tim, is it's slim pickings. Very few high quality players are still in there, and at the ones that are, they're down to their last 1 or 2 schools, and it's a big time school, throwing big money, an Oregon type school. The biggest player that we want out of this weekend by far, I feel like, is Brian Taylor, a defensive tackle from Florida. He would be a very nice pickup. If we could get him, there's only one big problem with him, Tim. He may be out of eligibility.
Yeah. So that's kind of a little hurdle, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, not being able to play anymore. I'm not really sure.
How hard do you go in on him? Because obviously he's got a waiver. He's trying to get an additional year.
Yeah, I do not know how likely that waiver is to pass at this moment.
Could be a shoe in. Could be with the NCAA though. You never know. They could turn you down in a heartbeat.
Right.
They're more inconsistent than you know, getting a truthful answer from your spouse and where to go eat.
Yeah,
or
a politician. Yeah.
Or a politician. Yeah. I tell you what though, very athletic. He's about 290, 295. And as the saying goes, he can run like a deer.
Yeah. Good prospect. He would definitely be in our rotation at defensive tackle.
Take him in a heartbeat.
And that's a need position. Yeah. The other guy, Tim, that we expect in today is the quarterback, Ryan Staub from Colorado. You know,
I think it was third string out there, right?
yeah, not impressive, man. Not impressive numbers. Third string in Colorado. If we was to get him, he would be third string here.
Yeah, he had 55 pass attempts, 3 touchdowns, which I guess ain't too bad. 4 interceptions, which is really bad.
Yeah.
19 rushing attempts for about 30 yards. In such a short attempt, screams he didn't really know what was going on. Things broke down, and he took off running.
Yeah, when you see that, that just tells you that he was quick to take off running because he didn't know what tech he was seeing
Yeah.
out there.
Now that said, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I actually have had a chance to go find his tape yet.
I haven't.
So this is all assumptions just based on what stats I've seen on that right there. So most of these kids, you know, I do my best to try to go find some film of them.
Yeah.
That's one that I haven't had an opportunity to see yet.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe they see something I haven't. Obviously, they have seen something. But I will say this: I'd probably be disappointed if this. I can't believe there's not a Division II or a
that's who
group
I would
of five.
Go. Yeah, I would go
quarterback that's had some success.
Yeah, at least like somebody that's done something decent.
Yeah, even at a lower level. Show me that you can get the job done at a lower level.
Yeah.
Versus showing me that you can't get the job done at a lower level from what we are.
Right. Right. Okay, now let's talk about. Okay, most of the hay is in the wagon and the portal town. What is left that's need positions that we need?
Well, obviously, I mean, going to holler quarterback, but I think we just, at this point, it's pretty obvious. We're bringing in a guy at best that's going to compete with McIntyre and Faison.
Yep.
And I'm not totally against that. I realize GMAC is obviously very slim, and I worry about the injury situation with him. From his very limited time we've seen him, though, I thought he looked good in his very limited snaps he's gotten in like in spring game or in ball games. I do believe, though, the staff went into this thinking if we can get a stud, we're going to go after a stud. They tried to with Sorsby, they tried to with Levitt. And after that, they're probably, I believe they're thinking we've got two high talent guys on the roster, just extremely young.
Right.
So if we can, you know, last year, Bob, we talked about why didn't we go after more portal receivers? And the answer was simply, we're not going to go after somebody that's not better than what we have here.
Yeah.
And I think there might be some of that going on at the quarterback position.
Right. Right. The other two major spots, Tim, to me, that's concerning, we need to fill. Number one is defense tackle. Now, this Brian Taylor could fill that spot.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
But we need not a guy who, like what we was talking about with Burks and, you know, Metcalf and Haslam. We need somebody who's going to play meaningful minutes. Don't necessarily have to be a starter, but he needs to play somewhere in the starter type minutes because we're really thin at that spot. I mean, we've got a few players, but
we're depending on big jumps from two freshmen
and people haven't been healthy,
being healthy. But we need Utley and we need Isaiah Campbell, two freshmen last year, to take a big jump this year. If they do, hey, we might be fine at defensive tackle spot, potentially.
Right.
You know,
we had high hopes for him.
Yeah, very good. I mean, Campbell was a 5-star coming out of high school. Everybody loved him.
Right.
Utley, honestly, may be farther along than Campbell.
Right.
But are they ready today? Are they ready in September? And if they're not, we could have problems there if we don't pick up another quality piece out of the portal.
Exactly. The other spot we need, Tim, is we need a solid, startable cornerback. You don't have to be a starter, but need to be able to put him in the game for long periods of time
and not get picked on.
Yeah. I mean, you got Redmond. You got the kid from Auburn,
Lee.
That's you think's going to be starters, but you need another one for injuries. You know, I mean, we had 2 guys go down this year, McCoy and Gibson. You gotta account for some injuries.
Yeah, and hopefully that doesn't happen 2 years in a row. But
Right.
that said, even if they're healthy, you know, they got to get a break every now and then.
Yeah.
I wonder if some project position flexibility might come in the form of the Metcalf kid, TK, TK
TK.
Metcalf, simply because he has played some corner. Could he slide over there in a pinch?
Possibly, I guess.
You know,
There's something they're definitely going to be looking at. And then, we talked about the quarterback situation. And surely they bring somebody else in, you think?
yeah, I would expect someone else in. And I would honestly be surprised if they took the Colorado kid, but they brought him in for a reason. So
Right.
I'm going to say that potential's out there.
All right. Well, Tim, let's talk about not quarterback position,
The basketball game.
The basketball game.
I might feel more like talking about the quarterback position,
I
Bob.
know,
The basketball game was ugly on many levels.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. I'm not going to be. If I've been a positive guy so far today, and I'm not sure that I have, I'm probably not going to be a positive guy when it comes to this basketball game yesterday.
Shoot, that's the truth, man. That game was pitiful. We had the game in hand.
Up 17 points.
I really question, I'm no college quarterback basketball coach, football coach, but I do feel like there's some things I do know a little bit about, and I disagree with them pulling players with 2 fouls in the first half. I've been saying that way before. I mean, probably 10 years. I've been saying that before it started becoming common. I just never understood that, because I guarantee you get more minutes out of that player if you keep him in the game. Now, sure, may not have him at the end of the game, which is what the coaches always say. We want this player in the game.
It ain't who plays when, who starts, it's who ends the game. I've heard that for years.
I'd rather have the guy in the game for 35 minutes rather than putting him in for 28 and voluntarily taking him out for 7.
Yeah, because you're getting penalized either way. Either the refs penalize you at the end of the ball game with a 5th foul, or you penalize yourself early in the game.
Well, I mean, Gillespie only ended up with 1 more foul, and Boswell didn't get any more fouls.
Yeah, and you had them both off. And you know what? If they had played well, if the backups had come in and we was not turning the ball over, and let's say the bigs were scoring, or the bigs were turning the ball over,
right,
or just missing shots, let's say, then you might say, well, hey, the guards are doing their position, but those last few minutes of the first half, why in the world you don't put those 2 guys back, or at least one of those 2 guys back in to run that team when all we were doing was turning the ball over. Rick Barnes lost that game at the end of the first half. Instead of being up 17, and with personally, I think the potential to push it on up to 20.
Right.
The only way Kentucky was going to win that game is if they can cut that lead down around 10 points at halftime. And they got it down to 11.
Right.
And goodness gracious, the beginning of that second half, so ugly.
Yeah. We were just trying to hold off.
We
couldn't stop them for nothing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Drive it down and hit the little shot from 5-10 foot away. I mean, it seemed like we couldn't stop it.
Yeah, and then they got hot from the outside.
They did hit some, yeah.
Yeah, you had 2 guys just decided to go off, which isn't uncommon. I mean, they just come down from 18 points down, I think, the game before us, and won the ball game. They're definitely a second half team.
Right.
And we gave them life going into the second half. Now, you could argue, Gillespie at the end of the ball game played horribly.
It was a horrible pass there.
Do you want to blame the loss on him? Do you want to blame it on Rick?
I could see it either way.
Yeah, either one you want to do, I'll be fine with it. I personally give it to Rick. He's still playing 1926 ball instead of 2026 ball.
Yeah.
But that said, Bob,
there was a bright spot in it.
Put some orange colored glasses on just for a moment.
Amen. Actually, the last 2 games has played pretty good. I mean,
even though he only took 7 shots this game, and I don't believe he scored in the first half, if I recall correctly.
He only had 1 turnover, which is
unusual for
him because he usually does that within the first minute or 2 of the game. Usually, he seems to be getting more comfortable, and if that happens, I just feel like there's something with this team it's close, you know.
Well, if you go individually players, I'm going to tell you the ceiling of this team is pretty high.
Yeah.
But, you've always heard, some teams are better than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
Well, this team has not been as good as the sum of its parts.
Right.
And I meant picking it up could go a long way into actually gelling this team.
Yeah, I'm not giving up on this team. I really ain't. I mean, I know we're not playing that well right now. We're not playing at a level that
we're used to seeing the last several years.
Yeah. But I feel like it is a team that could all of a sudden turn it around and start tearing it up,
Yeah, well, it's still mid-January, and we've got a lot of games out there to continue to gel. I mean, normally Rick's teams gels early,
right,
and falls apart in the postseason.
Right. Maybe this is the year we
gel a little bit.
Yeah, as the playoffs are starting. If we can, but the only thing is, we got to start playing better. Otherwise, we ain't gonna make it. We're gonna be tearing it up in the NIT.
Yes.
We don't want to be doing that. Well, Tim, I think that's about it. Tim, you got anything else you want to
add? No, I just hope that you'll carry me out of here, Bob, when we're all said and done here, because I don't think my back's gonna let me walk.
Okay. All right, Tim, we're gonna push Tim out of the chair here and roll him out of the room, and we'll see you guys next time. And remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about the video. Appreciate you guys.
Hey, one more thing, guys. If you have any sympathy for old fella with his back out, hit that like and button. And leave us a comment. Yeah. Tell me what you might do. I'm gonna go hang upside down on an inversion table here in just a second. But if you got any other hints, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So go Big Orange.
Go Vols.